They are the 8 fastest Greyhounds in competition, set to square off after a rigorous series of trials. Breaking out of the box, poised and ready to reach speeds in excess of 40 miles per hour. Tonight, a champion will be crowned in the most prestigious race in the Greyhound industry. A stretch drive to the wire as these 8 finalists compete for the coveted Auto Tote Chairman's Cup. Next on Prime Network. Live from the Diaryland Greyhound Park in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Prime Network is proud to present the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. And good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff DeForest. Pleased to have you with us for our coverage of the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. Baseball has its World Series, football its Super Bowl, thoroughbred racing its Kentucky Derby, and tonight we have 8 potential champions vying to reach the pinnacle of their sport. Joining me on the telecast is Joe Passion. And Joe, we started with 64 of the top racing Greyhounds in the country. We're down to the final 8.
Watching the qualifying rounds over the last 2 weeks, the enthusiasm over the competitive parity of these 8 Greyhounds is what's going to make this great race all that much greater.
Tough series of trials. Here how the points are awarded. 16 for a win on down to 0 for an 8. Purse structure looks like this: $100,000 to the winner of tonight's Greyhound Race of Champions. And here's a look at the complete field. The 1 box, Mega Morris, a closer. Task Magic Moon, a long shot out of the deuce. DM Ivanhoe, the 3. Windfall, the 4. Best Shooter, the 5. Beligi Champ from the 6. JC Stormcloud is the 7. And Apache Desert Dog is on the outside. Speed should prevail in this race. It often does, Joe.
The mid-track has also proved very successful in earlier races this evening, particularly because it's a wet track.
Top dogs in the race. Let's go to our analyst at the finish line, Gordon Waite.
Greyhound number 7, JC Stormcloud, looks to be an early favorite. This is the only Greyhound to win all 3 qualifying rounds. Toward the middle, number 5, Best Shooter, should be a contender. This dog won the last 2 rounds and has big late speed. Number 3, DM Ivanhoe, is an early speed racer. Should be able to control the rail in this contest, and a good long shots on the rail. Number 1, Mega Morris.
Should be a terrific evening for Greyhound racing. Coming up next, the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions Post Parade. Back with that and more on Prime Network. The Greyhound Race of Champions is brought to you in part by Comdata Corporation, provider of the ComCheck credit card cash advance service.
Mike, can you hit Jeff real quick so we can hear him? We're in break.
Welcome back to our coverage of the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions from the Diaryland Greyhound Park in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kind of an odd day weather-wise, Joe, as we had crystal clear skies to open up this afternoon, and then all of a sudden they opened up and rained hard on us.
Tornado sirens went off earlier this evening, but a big crowd on hand has not been scared away from our national championship.
1992 Greyhound Race of Champions winner was Dickie Valley, who campaigns here locally. Honored tonight by the fans here at Diaryland Greyhound Park, leads the post parade.
They turn for home. Dickie Valley digging in gamely. Move kick. Can't gain on the leader. It's Dickie Valley to win the 11th annual Greyhound Race of Champions and $100,000 to the winner.
Dickie Valley, the winner of the 1992 Greyhound Race of Champions, still campaigning locally here, unable to put it together well enough to make it to the final field, but a fan favorite to say the least, Joe.
Before Dickie Valley became a national name with his great win in the Grok last season, he was a big name already here in southern Wisconsin.
This is a state-of-the-art Greyhound facility. If you haven't had a chance to venture out to Diaryland Greyhound Park, you won't want to miss the action here. Celebrating its 3rd year and the host of the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions.
The Greyhound Race of Champions features the 8 fastest Greyhounds in the country, representing the top athletes in the sport today. Greyhound racing is the 6th largest spectator sport in the United States, with a combined attendance of well over 29 million people in 1992. There are 59 tracks in 18 states nationally, and the sport is extremely popular worldwide. During the 1980s, a number of states opened their door to greyhound racing for the first time, including Idaho, Kansas, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
Well, in addition to the impact of building a $40 million facility, we've also created 800 full-time jobs at the track. We've had a huge impact on tax dollars, both in Wisconsin, where we've contributed over $20 million in our first 3 years of operation, but also locally, where we've contributed over $5 million to the city and county tax coffers in just 3 years.
Legislation was passed in Wisconsin in 1987 that led to the development of 5 greyhound tracks statewide: Wisconsin Dells Greyhound Park, Geneva Lakes Kennel Club, the Fox Valley Greyhound Park, St. Croix Meadows, and Diaryland Greyhound Park.
With this location right off the interstate between the two major markets of Milwaukee and Chicago, we've attracted over 4 million fans in our first 3 years of operation. Ranks us number 3 in the sport of greyhound racing in only our first 3 years.
The most important attribute of Dairyland's success has been the substantial impact on the community surrounding the track. In its brief history, Dairyland has provided hundreds of jobs and millions of dollars in state and local taxes. Contributions from the Dairyland Charitable Foundation have totaled over $1 million to worthwhile groups and associations throughout southeast Wisconsin. All of these accomplishments, along with consistently presenting the finest greyhound racing in the country, led to Dairyland's selection as the host of the 1993 running of the Greyhound Race of Champions, an honor of which they are extremely proud.
We're about 10 minutes away from post time for the 1993 running of the Greyhound Race of Champions. Let's get a look at the latest odds as posted on the board. Mega Morris at 12-1, Task Magic Moon long shot 24-1. DM Ivanhoe also an outsider in double digits. Windfall getting support as his best shooter. Beligi Champ 19-1. JC Stormcloud now down to even money, and Apache Desert Dog on the outside at 9-2. So the fans are going for the local favorite here. JC Stormcloud now in at even money, Joe.
But you also notice best shooter at 4-1 out of the 5 box, the most successful box in the qualifying round. So maybe the best box might be for best shooter.
Not going to be an easy task for JC Stormcloud, even with all that fan support at even money. This is a must-win type of situation breaking out of the box. Gordon, what about that? He's going to have a tough road if he doesn't break on top.
Well, she's an early speed dog, and with early speed on either side of her, it's going to be tough for her to break out first and go on to win.
JC Stormcloud, the current favorite on the board at even money. 3 terrific stakes on the card here at Dairyland Greyhound Park this evening. When we come back, we'll have the running of the Wisconsin Derby after these messages. Just moments away from post time, the excitement beginning to build here for the Greyhound Race of Champions at Dairyland Greyhound Park. Coming up, we'll have it for you. We'll crown a champion here at Dairyland. The Greyhound Race of Champions, brought to you in part by Comdata Corporation, provider of the ComCheck credit card cash advance service. And we're about 2 minutes away from post time for the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions, a wide open race, very competitive field.
Post positions were drawn this past Wednesday for the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. This is how the field shapes up. Starting from box number 1 is Mega Morris, representing the Jacksonville, Florida racetrack. Mega Morris races for the Farrell Kennels and is trained by Walter Chapman. Mega Morris was a first-round winner and comes into the final with 30 points.
Mega Morris on the 1 hole just needs to break close to the lead, get around the turn, and just run his best race. I don't think anyone's going to come from behind by very much in this race, so you need to stay close.
Starting from the number 2 box is Task Magic Moon, representing Melbourne, Florida. Task Magic Moon races for the Farrell Kennels and is trained by Walter Chapman. This greyhound was a winner in the 2nd round and comes into the final with 32 points.
Well, the dog normally breaks fairly well. The past, he's been breaking what I call bad. but in the 2 position, I think the dog will break good, have a good chance to clear the turn. If he does, I think he's got a mighty good shot of winning the race.
In the number 3 box is D.M. Ivanhoe, a Dairyland entry. D.M. Ivanhoe races for the Badger Greyhound Kennel and is trained by Dale Horan. This Greyhound was a 3rd-round winner and comes into this race with 32 points.
And in the 3 rounds up to this point of this croc, he's been in front every race again, so we're hoping that he comes out of the box and goes to work one more time for us.
In the number 4 post position is Windfall. This Greyhound represents Wichita, Kansas, and runs for the Black and Ward Kennel and is trained by Chris Enrique. This Greyhound was a 2nd-round winner and comes into the final with 34 points.
He's got a good run to the turn and a good run up the front stretch.
Best Shooter is starting from the number 5 post position. Best Shooter represents the Woodlands in Kansas and races for the Creek Kelly Kennel. Best Shooter is trained by Cy Heller and was a winner in both the 2nd and the 3rd rounds. Best Shooter comes into the final with 40 points.
Well, he'll have to get clear. Being in a 5-hole is a tough post position. And he'll have to come out fast and get clear because he's a tall, long dog and he needs a lot of room to run.
Starting from the number 6 box is Boligi Champ. This Greyhound is a representative from Plainfield, Connecticut and races for the Bay Point Kennel. Boligi Champ is trained by Graydon Rob Toy and was a 3rd-round winner. Boligi Champ comes in with 32 points.
So all I have to do is come out of the box a little bit, and I think he's got a chance to win it.
From the number 7 box, it's JC's Storm Cloud. This Greyhound was the only Greyhound to have 3 wins, won in all 3 rounds, and races for the Gulf and Bay Kennel and is trained by John Filippelli. JC Storm Cloud comes into the final with 48 points.
And the only thing that we'll worry about.
And the lures in motion for the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. Here's the call with Jim Celovich.
On the break with 5-7 on top now. JC Storm Cloud 8 running a 2nd. Apache Desert Dog. Mega Morris running a 3rd. Moving on the outside is Boligi Champ. On the rail is DM Ivanhoe. Then it's Task Magic Moon and the rest around the turn they go. The escape turn. It's 7 on top. JC Storm Cloud. Mega Morris 1 running a 2nd. Apache Desert Dog 8 running a 3rd. 6 running 4th. Boligi Champ. Then it's 3 DM Ivanhoe along with a 4 Windfall. Around the turn they come, heading for the wire now. Mega Morris now 1 with the lead. It's 6 with 8, and at the wire it's Mega Morris.
And an upset in the 93 running of the Greyhound Race of Champions. There you get a good look at the 1 dog, Mega Morris. Mega Morris at 12-1 on the board at post time. Things went JC Storm Cloud's way. Had to pop the box according to Gordon Waite. Did just that and established the early lead, but stalking the pace much closer than usual tonight was the 1 Mega Morris. And those two battled down the backstretch, and Mega Morris was able to overtake JC Storm Cloud and eventually go on to win $100,000 for his connections. Mega Morris racing from Jacksonville for the Farrell Kennel, trained by Walter Chapman. And here we get a look at the replay. The key is the break. There you see JC Storm Cloud gets to the front rather easily, and this is a Greyhound that is rarely caught from behind. Had won 19 of 32 starts during the 1993 campaign here at Dairyland, so had the home course advantage as well. On the outside is Apache Desert Dog, also a strong front runner, but they're very mettlesome now and poised on the turn to make his move is Mega Morris the 1. Mega Morris wants to go inside, can't get there as JC Storm Cloud cuts him off. Now he tries to battle by on the inside once again. The hole opens up this time. Mega Morris powers to the front. JC Storm Cloud is defeated. And now you see the battle is strictly for 2nd place. The 6, Boligi Champ, another outsider, looms into position, comes up, and gets the place. Let's go down to the finish line and the analysis of the race with Gordon Waite.
JC Storm Cloud broke out very well, but Mega Morris stayed on the rail and moved up strongly. The Greyhound passed up going around the stretch turn and then stretched it out coming into the final turn there. The dog was mid-track, and that's where the good footing was at the end of the race.
The unofficial order of finish has the 1, Mega Morris, on top. Mega Morris, an impressive winner if it stands up. The 6, Boligi Champ, was 2nd. Apache Desert Dog hangs on for third. We'll come back with the prices and the official results and the winner's circle celebration as Mega Morris appears to be your champion in the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions.
I'm not supposed to, Joe is.
For the replay?
You believe it?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Let's put this guy for contingency. All together. Tom said if you win, you'll have no trouble riding back. When's Jeff going to I'm sure we'll have you over there.
And welcome back to Dairyland Greyhound Park in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Jeff DeForest, Joe Passion, and Gordon Waite with you. We have a winner in the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. A very exciting run as the outsider Mega Morris from the one box triumphed. Here's a replay of the race. Champions, here's the call with Jim Celovich.
On the break with 5-7 on top now. JC Stormcloud 8 running a second. Apache Desert Dog. Mega Morris running a third. Moving on the outside is Bola G Champ. On the rail is DM Ivanhoe. Then it's Task Magic Moon and the rest around the turn they go. The escape turn. It's 7 on top. JC Stormcloud. Mega Morris 1 running a second. Apache Desert Dog 8 running a third. 6 running fourth. Bola G Champ. Then it's 3 DM Ivanhoe along with a 4 Windfall. Around the turn they come, heading for the wire now. Mega Morris now 1 with the lead. It's 6 with 8, and at the wire it's Mega Morris.
Mega Morris, the race winner. Let's go down to the winner's circle and Joe Passion.
A great win down here in the winner's circle, of course, is crowded with celebrating from Farrell Kennels. We're going to talk to Tom Farrell, the owner, in just a moment, but a great race. And you and I talked about how the quality of the field really was impressed in the qualifying rounds with parity, and the number 1 Greyhound in that number 1 box, Mega Morris, who was the last Greyhound chosen for this national championship, ends up with the trophy.
Well, it was a tremendous run for this Greyhound. He stayed on the rail nicely early, showed that late speed, passing toward the stretch turn and stretching it out late going mid-track. It was a great run.
And as you had predicted prior to, whoever comes out of the box early, gets that early lead, will in all likelihood keep it.
Well, that's true. In this case, JC Stormcloud was out there early. She faded badly, though, in that last turn, and Mega Morris really turned it on.
The dog that was able to stay with it and really find some range and footing with the track found the trophy toward the end, and maybe Mega Morris found that place in the track that he wanted most.
Well, that's true. The track had been getting a little bit faster. The mud that we saw earlier in the evening had mostly disappeared, and that made that rail a little firmer footing, and that really helped Mega Morris. The other 2 dogs, number 6 and number 8, Bola G Champ and Apache Desert Dog, ran very good race as well, and came up late into the money. It was an excellent race.
Okay, we're going to have a chance to take a look at the race again, as well as talk with the owner, Tom Farrell, about his dog and, of course, his national championship being celebrated up here in the winner's circle right now.
Mega Morris comes home on top, triumphs in the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. The official prices, $26.80 for the win spot for Mega Morris, $16.20 on the place. Peligi Champ, Apache Desert Dog, $5.20 for the show. Here's a good look at Mega Morris, $100,000 richer after taking the trophy home in the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions. So a little bit of an off-track, bit of an adventure for some of the speed dogs in the race. JC Stormcloud unable to hang on. Let's go back down to the winner's circle and Joe Passion. Joe.
All right, well, down here we have the winners and the families, and Max, of course, the owner of Farrell Kennels, and came up with a great race here, and I'm sure you have to be especially proud considering your Greyhound was the last to make the field.
Yes, that's correct, but we knew he could do it. It was just a matter of getting him in the finals. He's a real strong dog.
Well, Tom Farrell, of course, had a big play in this, and Gordon, I know that, why don't you give him his microphone there for a moment and comment a little bit on the race, if you would. We're going to take a look at it, and maybe here in the monitor you'll see, right behind our cameraman, you'll see the race again, and an opportunity maybe to bring us through it, because we saw J.C. Stormcloud get the early lead, but Mega Morris stayed right there, found its place on the track, and, of course, found home first.
Yes, on the break, looked like Morris moved real quick, broke with the other dogs. Then I believe J.C. Cloud Storm got the front. Looked like Morris is about third there. This is a type track he really runs his best. On a little slower track, the rain kind of helped us, I guess. Need all the help we could get when you're in a race like this.
Did the weather, did you feel, really play a factor? Actually may have helped Mega Morris as some, patting the track down as it did.
Yes, I think it did, really, because early speed dogs will run out on the top end if the track's a little deep. So I believe it helped him. Look like he won by about 5 lengths. Run a real nice race.
Mega Morris, your winner in the 1993 Greyhound Race of Champions, $100,000 to the good. On behalf of Joe Passion and Gordon Waite, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Catch you in Jacksonville for the 94 Race of Champions.
That's right. They're at 10 o'clock. Well, they don't go anywhere.